What is going on, Dokkan fan? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. And guys, so jumping back into our journey on trying to complete all the Super Battle Road stages without using a single item. We're gonna be jumping quite a bit ahead because we actually just received a brand new stage here on the global side of the game, that being stage 67, the Corroded Body and Mind only. And we actually ended up doing this fight after doing it for maybe 5 or 6 attempts, and this is the team that I thought was probably the best team to actually do this without using a single item. And of course, going down the line here, we're gonna start off with the leader being the Fat Tech Janemba. He does give us a solid 170% attack and defense for all our Corroded Body and Mind category units. I have the LR Fist Janemba, the Int LR Cooler, the Supreme Kai Brainwashed STR unit, the STR Goku Black Rose form, and the AGL Metal Cooler. Now I'm gonna start off with the the most obvious one, the elephant of the room, if you will, that being the Supreme Kai of Time Brainwash version. And the reason why I brought her was because when I was reading down her passive, I actually saw one little thing that really piqued my interest, and that is the rare chance of her potentially stunning the whole rotation. Basically, it's almost like Jiren, having him in the rotation, and you can potentially stun that whole round and potentially save yourself a lot of damage if it actually pulls through. Unfortunately, I never got it to happen. But nonetheless, she is still a pretty solid unit for the fact that she greatly raises attack and defense, or actually not attack, just greatly raises defense, excuse me. And the fact that she lowers attack and defense per super, and I do have mine at 79%, and I have her on additionals, so if I can get multiple supers off, then she becomes a pretty tanky bastard. Now the other one that I do want to bring out that is almost like a throwaway unit is the AGL Metal Cooler. Now the Metal Cooler is a very good unit, but unfortunately in this point in the game, you cannot afford to get tagged at least one time because you will take massive damage. And unfortunately, the design that this cooler has is the fact that you have to get hit multiple times for his passive to fully activate and get that damage reduction or that defense boost. You have to get hit like maybe 5 or 6 times for him to even be kind of tanky, and you cannot afford to get tagged with a super because that is GG's and he's dead. So the only reason why I brought cooler was for the fact that if I get into a very, strange or hard predicament, I can just transform him, or if I get my life into like a middle stage, he can just transform to the core, and I can potentially save myself from getting hit for 2 rounds or 3 rounds if I get lucky, and that's pretty much it. That's the only reason why I brought it, just for the core transformation. Now the other unit that I did bring in here that was also kind of like a throwaway was the LR Int Metal Cooler. Now his his design is very interesting because he isn't tanky, to say the least. I mean, he does get a 100 attack and defense plus 100 attack and defense depending on how much HP you have, and he does get an attack and defense per super. I found out that he is just not that good at getting additionals. Even though you do have him fully additional, I get very unlucky and I only get like maybe 2 supers off when he can get up to 4. Now you get lucky and you do actually get the 4 supers, and yeah, he can be very tanky, but if he only gets 1, then he's gonna get hit for a lot of damage, and you can't afford to get a super with him. Like if you get supered, you're dead. That's like, there's no saving him from that. The MVP of this team, I will definitely say for sure, is the STR Rose Goku Black, simply for the fact that his passive has the gracious attack lowering ability of 30% from any super class enemies. And unfortunately for this fight, you're facing nothing but super class enemies, and that actually comes into clutch quite frequently, especially if you have him in the same rotation with the LR Janemba, because Janemba, as we all know, he guards all attacks if you have him as your first or second slot unit, but if you have him as your third, he gets a high chance to dodge, but I find now that dodging does not work all that well for me, so I'd rather just take the guard. But if you have Janemba and Goku Black in the same rotation, then Janemba is pretty much untouchable at that point because he does guard every attack. And if you don't have LR, not LR, but if you don't have STR Goku Rose, then the LR Janemba still guards, but he can take up to 20 to maybe 30k damage, and then if you get supered, you can take up to 100k even with guard activated. So it's very powerful to have both of these in the same rotation. It's very unfortunate that even though you have Janemba as your leader, he does not link all that well with the LR Janemba, and he honestly isn't all that great. His passive is such a pain in the ass to try to get, because you need to get certain amount of key spheres for him to actually be remotely good. Like for example, you need to get at least 4 type key spheres to get a full, I believe, 40% attack and defense for your whole rotation, and you do get damage reduction if you get 2 or more keys, rainbow key spheres, which in hindsight does seem pretty good, but the chances of that even happening is very rare. I mean, you do get it, but it's very rare for that to happen. And the fact that he does not have any orb changing ability in his passive, neither him or the LR Janemba or any of these units in this team, then that really cripples this fat Janemba a lot. So I'm really hoping maybe down the line when he does gets an EZA, they give him the ability to change orbs. I don't think so, because I think orb changing is a very powerful skill. I think they will just have to release a whole new Janemba or a brand new Corroded body and mind unit that has the changing orbs ability, but that is also very usable, because you can bring an orb changer into this fight, but he will be complete ass and he could completely dominate him. So I think it is going to fall down to them just releasing a brand new unit that has that and that can really help out this team, because this team is good, but unfortunately Janemba does not really help out all that much, and he's simply just there just for the one in the blue moon chance that the orbs will be on your favor and you can actually get the full passive and his leader skill. And that's very unfortunate, because there is a good unit underneath all that bullshit that is his passive, but unfortunately you can't really do much about that. But nonetheless, guys, that's my whole team. We did this without using a single item. It was a very interesting fight. Of course, it's not free to play, and if you're one of those crazy bastards that actually got this no item run, then I commend you. Definitely let me know what team you use. I'm thinking maybe it might have been the cooler team, but if you use a different free-to-play team, definitely let me know. That would be very interesting to really see, and I will try to attempt it myself. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like this video if you'd like to. Helps me out tremendously with the YouTube's algorithm. And as always, guys, I'll catch you all on the next challenge. All right, peace out.